Toys, including the chemicals they contain, shall not jeopardize the safety or health of users or third parties when they are used as intended or in a foreseeable way, bearing in mind the behavior of children. In reality, the Toy Safety Directive says CMR substances are banned. But you can see that depending on the kind of the substance, they are allowed up to a concentration from 0.1 to, at the moment, 5.0%. So I think that's not really a ban. We do have particular safety requirements regarding chemical substances in toys. We find them in the Toy Safety Directive itself, in REACH, in the standards. So that's a positive aspect. But regarding the elements, there are some limits which are higher than in the old directive. Regarding allergenic fragrances, the Toy Safety Directive is dealing with the two tables with 52 and 11, so in some with 66 fragrances. But there are a lot of other fragrances which could be dangerous for children. And for example, in the standard of IFRA, of the International Fragrance Association, you find 184 substances which should be considered. Regarding the phthalates, we have limits for 6 phthalates in REACH, but there are other phthalates which are substances of very high concern, which are not regulated. We do have the generic requirement for CMR substances, but you have seen in reality we have relatively high limits for this kind of substances. And we do have no generic requirements for sensitizer. Katon is under discussion at the moment. Not for flame retardants, not for monomers, not for solvents, not for preservatives and biocides. Please be aware of the fact that toys are not covered by the new biocidal product regulation. Toys are not in the scope of this regulation. And we do have no requirements for nanomaterials. The Toy Safety Directive doesn't mention the nanomaterials. So that's all not very satisfying. To sum it up, what is missing regarding chemical requirements in childcare articles is easy said, almost all. You have seen we have some requirements for SUSAs and for childcare articles which are food contact materials, but for all other articles we have almost nothing. So, and with this, I say thank you for your attention.
12% seems to have some kind of skin problems with their tattoos, and it's 25% of those that are tattooed with colors. And the popularity is growing. If we look at the numbers in the US, for instance, they are higher than the Danish numbers. So we're getting more tattooed persons. So what are we facing of a challenge concerning risk? It's the chemicals, the carcinogens, the allergens, the sterility, the bacteria. Then there's the exposure, which is really a challenge. How should we look at the exposure? Well, it's not the normal way that you look at chemicals, definitely, because it's injection, it's put into the skin by purpose. And if you put this into the skin, it really has a serious impact. You cannot remove it easily. Well, you cannot really remove it, or you can go for surgery and you can have the skin taken off, but that's really the way you can get rid of it afterwards. In Denmark, we have, at the moment, we have an information campaign going on for the consumers, which is called Think Before You Ink. And then we have started to make a national regulation, which has been notified to the Commission, which you have to do. And this regulation, we have tried to cover all the risks that I have been talking about today, the chemicals, the bacteria, the labeling with the ingredient list, and we're also saying that we need a safety evaluation. Well, the Commission has now told us that REACH and classification and labeling regulation should be sufficient to deal with the chemicals. So we cannot let this national legislation go into force now, or at least we're going into a discussion now with the Commission. Do we agree with the way that they said it should be tackled? So conclusion on tattooings, well, we need a specific EU product regulation, because tattooings are specific products. They have specific challenge, and we cannot sufficiently, they're not sufficiently covered by existing EU regulation. Also, we find that the national regulation is not sufficient to get safe tattooings for the consumers. I think that 6 or 7 countries already have national legislation inside EU, but it's difficult to stop risky products by national legislation, because they come from all over the world.
Now, today, the Policy Division prepares a legislation act that will record the substance, mixture, and articles containing nanomaterials. What is the context? During the Belgian presidency, the division organized a session, and it's appeared that it was very important to register nanomaterials, and so we had a very important conclusion of the Environmental Council in 2010. Why it's important to register nanomaterials? The first reason is that the data on the nanomaterials are not in the registration dossier. Second, products are on the market and available to the public. There is no direct action of the Commission after many requests of the Member States. And then action is needed to generate information. And other member states had initiatives. France has a register, and Denmark, for example, develops another initiative. What are general objectives of the project? The first one is to take care that innovating technology grows in harmony with human health. The second one is to acquire a better knowledge of the market. The third one, to ensure the transparency and to reinforce the confidence of the public and mainly of the workers. To ensure the traceability, and mainly in case of accident, and to set up a base of knowledge necessary to the future lawful evolution.